Good afternoon, this is Terry from the Frugal Connection. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to make some very quick, easy, simple banana nut muffins. These are in my new cookbook, Simple and Nutritious, 52 plant-based whole food recipes. And I thought I'd invite you along with me today while I make these. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see what ingredients we're working with, and then we'll get started. The ingredients that we're going to use for this recipe are 2.5 cups of chickpea flour, but you can use whatever kind of flour you prefer. You could use oat flour. There's a variety of like gluten-free flours. I choose to use chickpea flour because it's high in protein and I'm doing plant-based whole foods. I also have one flax egg, which is basically 1 tablespoon of flaxseed meal mixed with 3 tablespoons of water. I have a 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts, and I just put them in the same cup I used to scoop out the flour. I have 2 ripened bananas. I have 6 medjool dates. On this plate, I have 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm using 1.5 cups of almond milk. You can use any kind of unsweetened plant-based milk that you'd like. And I have vanilla extract. And that's it. So we're gonna get the camera turned around and start cooking. The recipe comes together really quickly. I did add the extra 2 tablespoons to my flax meal. So to make a flax egg, you're going to use 1 tablespoon of ground flax meal, 3 tablespoons of water. My oven is preheating to 350 degrees. And what I'm gonna start with, I have a food processor here. I'm gonna add 6 medjool dates, which I've already pitted and took the pits out, and I'm also going to add in there my 2 ripened bananas. Now the riper the bananas are, the more sweet they get. So we're not putting any added sugar in this as far as granulated sugar or maple syrup or anything like that. And so I wanted super sweet bananas. So they're very ripe, they're overripe, but that's okay. They're good in the middle. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is, because I wanna break down those dates, I'm just gonna pulse this a few times to get it well incorporated. All right, that's pretty good. I just wanted to get it started. So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna put all my wet ingredients in my food processor, get this all mixed well together, and then I will transfer everything into a bowl. All right, so I'm putting my flax egg in. I'm gonna add in my plant milk, and I have 1.5 cups of almond milk. It's unsweetened. And I'm gonna add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I don't have a spoon here, I'm just gonna eyeball it. All right, and now I'm gonna give this a good blend. I'm gonna blend it up till it's nice and smooth. All right, to my bowl here, I'm going to add in my chickpea flour. Now, chickpea flour does have a little bit of a different taste to it. So if you don't like that, and you don't have any, you don't need to use chickpea flour. You can use whatever type of flour you want. I do avoid kind of all-purpose white flour because I'm trying to avoid those highly processed things. I want whole grains. So you could also use oat flour. That would be a great alternative. All right, so I'm just gonna stir this. I mixed my baking powder, my cinnamon, my salt in with this, and now I'm just going to dump in the wet ingredients. Get this out of the way. I want to get all those dates and banana out of there. Now the dates are the things that are going to add the sweetness to this. So you don't need to add in extra sweetness. If you want it a little sweeter, I mean, you can use riper bananas. So you make sure your bananas are nice and ripe. You could add in a little bit of maple syrup, but again, I'm trying to avoid some of those sugary things like that. My oven just went off, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give this a good mix. All right, I have a silicone pan, and the nice thing about these is that I don't need to use any oil in them. I don't need to spend money on papers. I just pop in the muffins. I put the batter in, put it in the oven, and let it cool, and then I can just pop them right out. So that's what I'm going to use for this recipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my cookie scoop here and put some in each. I'm going to fill them about 2/3 of the way full. All right, I have, this made 12 muffins, or it filled 12 muffin cups, and I'm going to get this in the oven. I'm going to bake it for about 20 to 25 minutes. At 350 degrees, and I will meet you back here when they're done. All right, I took them out of the pan. They look beautiful. They smell amazing, and we are going to try one and see what they're like. All right, so, oh, yummy. They look great. Now the difference with the chickpea flour, they're going to be a little denser. They're not going to be like if you're using a highly processed white all-purpose flour, but I love it. It's a whole grain. Oats are like that too. They'll be a little denser oat flour, but they still taste good. So I'm going to give it a try. Very good. Like I mentioned, chickpea flour has a little bit of a different taste to it. So if you're not used to that, you can use a different kind of flour, or if you don't like the taste of chickpea flour, I can taste the bananas. There's a hint of sweetness from the dates, and the banana was also sweet, but they're not overly sweet. You know, to be honest, for a breakfast muffin, I don't want it super sweet anyway. But I think these are great. Now, if you're new to plant-based eating, and you're not used to not using sugar in your cooking, you can use a little bit of maple syrup in this recipe. You could use about 1/3 of a cup. But again, I don't think it needs it because the bananas were nice and sweet. The dates were nice and sweet. The chickpea flour gives it that bulk that you need that will keep you full. And then it has the walnuts in there, which give you your omega-3s that you're looking for. And so I hope you will give this one a try. It's very tasty. It's very delicious. You can find this in my new cookbook, Simple and Nutritious, 52 Plant-Based Recipes, but you can also find it on my website, thefrugalconnection.com. I will link, I'll put a link down below in the description box for the recipe, which will take you right to my website. Take one step at a time as you're trying to make these healthy changes to your diet. Again, these were just a few simple ingredients. They didn't cost a fortune. It was very simple and easy to make this. So I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're staying warm. Hopefully the snow will end soon and winter will come to an end. But in the meantime, stay safe, stay warm, and I will see you in the next video.